For those who have no concept of capitalism, it's hard to make them understand the financial crisis that occurred in the United States in 2008. Similarly, for those who fail to grasp the essence of Powerism, it's also difficult to understand the current political, economic and social crisis in China. 7 years ago I coined a word, Powerism, to capture the essence of all political, economic, and social phenomena in China. And because there was no equivalent word in English, I also coined the word Powerism. Common Western political concepts, such as authoritarian society, and autocratic society, are often used to describe China. However, these concepts have more or less missed the main points. Some are missing and some are exaggerated. 30 years ago, Western scholars compared China to a society ruled by the Communist Party of the Soviet Union or East Germany, which was totally misunderstanding. Later, the economic growth and social freedom brought by China's reform and opening up overturned the theoretical foundation of the CCP's analogy with the CPSU. Later, when the Chinese people and the Chinese economy were open eyes for money at such a rapid speed that it had reached the point of being extremely vicious, some people issue again. Everything looks at money. It is more capitalist than capitalism. And they were called state capitalism. These views have their own reasons, but they are also incomplete. By default, Taiwan is supposed to understand China better than the West. However, the public figures, whether blue or green, are often in contact with Communist Party officials, whether they are pro-China or anti-China. They are basically a group of people who have been subjected to the United Front of the Communist Party of China. They just have different positive and negative reactions to the content of the United Front. As a result, most of the analytical techniques used by Taiwan's academia and media today come from Western viewpoints. They are either love or hate. In any case, there are two factions in the West, each taking what they want. Here a little explanation of what is Powerism. Literally, power as essence is very well understood. But what can be called as essence, let me explain it here in market language. As the saying goes, know the people on the face but don't know the heart. It refers to one's essence, which cannot be seen in general, only when one is forced into a corner or faced with a decision. Everyone has his first reaction to a situation, but his real first reaction will not show up in a social or organizational context. So it is useless to listen to what is said until the critical moment when he met. Judging what he does would be accurate. That is the essence of this person. Therefore, the Powerism means that the vast majority of people living in China today, dare not say all, ranging from politics and economy to living conditions, have the first reaction is based on power calculation, rather than money calculation. In other words, first of all, you have to be clear about who is in higher and lower positions of power, and who is strong and who is weak, and then make a corresponding social or organizational response. The wise ones will reason accordingly, and the vulgar ones may speak directly about the interests. Take a little example. In meetings in China, regardless of official or people, one sits in front of the front will have more power, and the one most closer to the leader will have the more power. The same is true in Taiwan's officialdom, but there are few such taboos among the people. Let me give you another case in life. Beijing is the high point of Powerism in China. Any one luxury 5-star hotels run by Chinese people, no matter how luxurious the lobby or elevator is, but if you take the elevator down to the parking lot, you will be shocked. The elevator is like two worlds inside and outside. The parking lot is usually dark and cluttered. Why? Because the one in the back seat are upper class, and usually get off at the front door of the hotel. Parking lot is for drivers, and have nothing to do with, so you can ignore them casually. The above are only two very small slices of the Powerism response, but we can see the full picture from this slight point of view. Let's check with another slice. We all know that in China, we have to say that we'll see. It doesn't matter if you have the relationship, it does matter if you don't have the relationship. But what is Guanxi? The word Guanxi is much more learned. It is not a human, not a feeling, not even a friendship. It is the knowledge of dealing with affairs that are weighed and intertwined by power and position. In the People's Liberation Army, buying and selling officials is not only a matter of having money, but also having connections. That is, if you want to buy a third-level official, it is not enough just to have a relationship with a second-level official. You must first get through to your superiors. Make him say hello to your superiors, then your superiors will be able to dare to charge you money. Another example is that if your child wants to go to a well-known kindergarten, besides the money called sponsorship fee, but also to open up the relationship between the principal, then the undertaker will dare to release the narrow gate. One more case, if you are a doctor in a hospital, the principal thinks who will not sick? You will always have to own the bed in the future. Suppressing power by power and exchanging power by power is the essence of InsightFAN and the underlying logic of corruption from top to bottom. None of the above is the point. The real point is, in China, authoritarianism, which originally existed in a large number of imperial Chinese cultures, has penetrated every organization, every mechanism, and even every person's bone marrow texture after 60 years of Communist Party enlightenment. From the Political Bureau of the CCP Central Committee, the Public Security Bureau, the Procuratorate, the court system, the state-owned enterprises, to private enterprises, industrial and commercial urban management, and even the residence committees of a small district. All of them operate under the Powerism-based reaction. There is a misunderstanding among outsiders that China's economic growth over the years has relied on the application of capitalism. In fact, it has depended on the activation and marketization of power. Money, just a derivative of power, has never been a core element of real action. What is the significance of all this chatter to Taiwanese society? There is more meaning than can be said, limited to time length and the reader's patience, here only to talk about the double meanings. First of all, the Taiwanese have to realize that they have not completely rid themselves of the disadvantages of Powerism. In our central or local bureaucracy, although they are already elected democratically, the Powerism is still an unspoken rule. Some of us are still used to the Chinese-style relationship, and the rotation of political parties will not necessarily change this. It must be up to the younger generation to get rid of the bad habits. Second, when it comes to cross-strait relations between Taiwan and China, the majority of Taiwanese still allow the ruling party to act as an agent. As a matter of principle, since the ruling party is elected, it is supposed to represent the will of the people. However, Taiwan's ruling party, blue or green, has traditionally treated cross-strait relations as a negotiation between political parties. The problem is that if Taiwan's officials are picked at one of the 10,000, the other is picked at one of the 600,000. China's population is 60 times that of Taiwan. So even if the Chinese side only sends middle-level representatives, its IQ, speech, insight, argumentative ability, and affinity will let all Taiwan's representatives feel amazing. Its expression of goodwill is easily listened to by the Taiwan side. However, don't forget that Chinese officialdom is a field of 100% authoritarianism arena, in which the top officials, and even senior officials, regardless of their personal opinions, will immediately return to the central team as soon as the whistle is blown. Any past feelings, friendship, policy attitude, can be instantly disappeared. Under the Powerism of China, the Taiwan government must learn one thing: cross-strait relations cannot be imagined as dealings between political parties, but between the government Taiwan and political parties CCP. No matter who Taiwan's governments deal with, you are dealing with the most powerful person in that party. Moreover, it is not necessary to study the character, will and likes and dislikes of the most powerful person, because he is also a person in the Powerism, and his personal character, will and likes and dislikes will not work at the crucial moment. Taiwan only needs to be aware of its power situation at any time and deal with it. This kind of understanding of China's perspective and skills is exactly what Taiwan now lacks most, and it is also one of the factors contributing to the increasing tension between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait. One of the most important things that the people of Taiwan need to learn is that, despite the chaos in the process, Taiwan is evolving from Powerism to humanism. This point is far beyond the reach of China today. We have to believe in human nature. 70 years ago in China, there was still a lot of humanistic spirit in society, and this spirit is now being awakened. Taiwan is the coordinates for it. This is the dealings between the people and the people, and is not something that any ruling party can represent.